Can you hear me? Hello, guys. Yesterday we saw this one, right? What is the request for a proposal and what is the proposal? We done this one. Hello. Can you anyone speak? Hello. Yes, yes. Good morning. Uh, okay. Yesterday we done this one, right? Okay. That's why I will tell you one more time. This is very, very important. Yesterday we discussed, right? So how the project will comes to the organization means I told you, right? Initially, what we need to put what proposal. Proposal means what? Proposal means what? We need to give a proposal to the client, like we need to tell like what is the technical solution, what is the cost, and what is the schedule, and what is the timeline. These are very, very important. When you are giving to proposal to the clients, we need to mention each and everything when we need to give a project and what is the schedule and what is the cost and what is the timeline. So proposal is very, very important. Once the proposal is done, then what we need to go? We need to go for a signed statement of work order. I told you, right? We got a what work order. We got work order because the client is accepted as proposal. Our proposal is accepted by the client. So client will take the cannot hear anything. Once. Hello, now can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. Okay, this is very, very important. That the reason I am repeating the yesterday's one class only. The same thing I am repeating. So proposal document is very, very important because the when the proposal is accepted by the client and the client will go for a signed statement of work order. That is nothing but a S4W. Once we done with the S4W, then we will conduct one meeting. That meeting is nothing but the first meeting will be held for that project. That is nothing but kickoff meeting. Means that is what the first meeting. That is the first meeting held in that particular project. Okay, we got the project. So what we need to do? We need to identify the project manager. This is very, very important, guys. Without project manager, we cannot see any project. So that is very, very important because the project manager is very, very he plays very major role in the project because without project manager we can't do any project. Because see why? Because I'm telling if the resources is not available and the tools is not available and there is a no proper tools and what tools we need to use, each and everything, the decision maker is very, very important, right? The person will if the project manager is not there means everyone is behave their own. So if everyone is behaving their own means we cannot complete our project, right? So that's the reason the project manager is very, very important. So what will we do with the project manager means the project manager will be prepared one document. The document is nothing but PMP. This is very, very important. PMP is nothing but project management plan. This is what how once the project manager identify the project manager will be prepared one document is nothing but a PMP. In the PMP document is nothing but how we need to execute, how we need to manage, how we need to control, how we need to execute this project, how we need to close this project, each and everything. Who will give the proposal? The proposal means saying you're a Tech Mahindra or some other companies, right? You're a client. So the Tech Mahindra will give the proposal to the client like vendor. See, so suppose I want one application for my business purpose. So I want required one software, right? So I cannot implement it software by myself, right? So I need to approach with the companies like big MNC companies. So I will tell that I want the project like this. Immediately what they do, they will come up the proposal. Means in the proposal means I told you, right, the cost and schedule and time. Did you got it right? Understanding, right? So proposal document is given by the companies, like who is having IT companies will give that proposal to the clients. Okay, we want to do your software. This is the proposal. This is the technical solution. This is the cost. This is the schedule. Schedule means the timeline when we will give this project to you. So each and everything will give you in the proposal. Clear, right? Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, this is very, very important. Once the proposal is done, we will go for SOW. SOW is nothing but a signed statement of work order. Once the work order is done, we done what a kickoff meeting. That is the first meeting. I told you, right? This is the first meeting for that project. In that first meeting, whom we need to identify? We need to identify the project manager. The project manager is very, very important. Once the project manager is identified, then we will go for the project manager will be prepared what PMP. PMP is nothing but what project management plan means how we need to execute, how we manage, how we need to close. He will take the project manager will take care of all the things. And coming to the BRS, you know, right? What is the BRS? Can anyone? What is the BRS? Can you use chart box? What is a BRS means what? Business requirement specification. This is very, very important. What is BRS means what? Business requirement specifications means what are the client? See, client want he wants some application. He wants some software. Yes, business requirement specification. Yes, that is very, very important because the client want the software like this. He will give some requirements, right? The business analyst will be there, and the business analyst will take care of all the information from the client, and he will take all the information from the client, and he will make a one document. The document is nothing but business requirement specification. So that is very, very important. Once the business requirement specification is done, then we will go for what? SRS. SRS is nothing but about software requirement specifications. What is that? SRS is nothing but a software requirement specification. The person who has a domain knowledge, that person will be converted all the content in the BRS is converted into SRS. SRS is nothing but a software requirement specification. Okay. Once we done with the SRS, once we're done with the SRS, again we will go for there are two phases like a developer. What developer will do, what tester will do. These two are very, very important. We done with the BRS and we done with the SRS. SRS means nothing but what are the content is given in the BRS that we cannot directly understand the developer. So one person who has a functional expert or a domain expert that he converted into all the content in the BRS, he converted into SRS. Okay, clear, right? So in this phase, what developer will do and what tester will do? Let's see. Developer. What is the developer means? In the developer roles, what the developer role will means based on the model. Every organization they have some models like architectural designs and DB designs. DB design is nothing but what? Database designs and UI designs. UI designs is nothing but UI means what? User interface look and feel like UI designs and UML designs. UML designs means what? Use case, class, object, and sequence and act. These are very, very important. So based on the models, the developer is start doing the coding. That is very, very important. Based on the design, the developer is start one doing the coding. Once the code is done, code review is very, very important because the senior person will review their code and the senior person will check whether you are following the coding standards or not. He will check each and everything. The senior person will take care on code review. Once the code review is done, then we will go for a unit level testing. Unit level testing is nothing but a white box testing. I told you, right? Who will do the white box testing? The white box testing is done by developers. Once the white box testing is done, and then we'll do for integration testing. See, here developer job is done. Completely a developer job is done because based on the SRS, he will go for a models. Based on the models, he start doing the coding. Once the code is done, he will go for a code review. When the code review is done, he will go for a unit level testing. Once the unit level testing, then he will start what integration level testing. It here the developer part is done. And coming to the QA, what is coming to the QA? What QA person need to do? Yesterday we discussed, right? The test plan. Who will prepare the test plan? The senior person who have a lot of experience, the person will can prepare the test plan. Means team lead or a team manager, test manager or a team lead, mostly the team lead involved to prepare the test plan is what we will discuss in the coming sessions. What is the test plan? Means in the test plan each and everything will be written, whom I need to assign the task and what are the try if it is what are the new features and what are the functionalities and metrics analysis, each and everything is written in the test plan. Once the test plan is done, we need to write the test scenarios. Test scenarios is very, very important. Scenarios means what? What to verify. Suddenly, if they will assign you any task, verify your mobile phone or verify your watch. What you need to do? Verify your hand wash means immediately you need to identify the scenarios. In the watch, what I need to verify, the die is one scenario, left belt is one scenario, and left right belt is one scenario. So and color, brand, it is analog or digital, all these are what scenarios. Once you identify the scenarios, you need to write what test cases. Test cases means is nothing but what are you are doing the actions, what are you are performing the actions, you need to write all your actions. Okay, don't worry, we will discuss complete this one in the coming sessions. What is the test scenarios and what are the test cases? Okay. Once we done with the test cases, see here developer is given his code, right? I told you yesterday we will get what build will come. That build is nothing but all the developer check in his code will be there in that particular build. Once we get the build, a build is nothing but URL. URL will get if you access that URL. After that, you need to check what system testing. I told you, right? System testing means what? You need to test entire the application, not only single module. You need to test complete application. Okay, you need to check complete application. Each and every module you need to check. Once we're done with the system testing, you need to go for user acceptance testing. User acceptance testing is nothing but a alpha testing and beta testing. Once user acceptance testing is done, it will move to production and implementations. Means we're done with the alpha testing and we're done with the beta testing. Then we will go on production. It will the product is directly will be launched in the production. Once the production is done, and we will go for a support and maintenance. Clear, guys? Why? Because I repeated the same thing because you need to understand, because these are very, very important. What developer will do and what QA will do. If you understand this slide, we're done with the half of the part. Clear, right? So far? You have any queries so far? Is it clear, right? Yes. Okay. Okay. Do we? Sorry, I am not get your question. Do we? Okay. Do we need remember all these steps? Not required. Remember means, see, it is not difficult, right? You can easily remember all these things. See what tester will do. Test plan is what the senior person like test lead will do. You test scenarios means what you need to test what is the test scenario means what to verify. After the test scenario is what we need to do test cases. So it is not required to remember all the things, but you need to understand the concept. If you understand the concept means it is easy, not required to by heart, and not required to write also. Because if you know what developer will do, what the developer will do, developer based on the models he start writing the coding. Once the code is done, he will go for a code review. Once the code review is done, he will do unit level testing and integration testing. You need not remember all these things. You can go with this means once you read means that is enough. Because what developer will do, developer will go for the design. Based on the design, he start writing the coding. Once the code is done, he will go for code reviews. And code reviews is what senior person will do. And unit level testing is nothing but once the developer is done his code, he need to do what unit level testing. After that, what integration testing. Okay, clear, right? Okay. So this is all the today. I will send the notes anyhow. Don't worry about this one. Okay, this is very very important. What is testing techniques? What is the testing techniques? What is the testing techniques means? There are two types of testing techniques. The testing techniques are one is what static, another is what dynamic. Okay, one is what static and dynamic. What is meaning of static? You know, right? Static means what? It is a constant, right? Static means what, and dynamic means what? Let's see. What is static and what is dynamic? Testing techniques can be classified into two categories. One is what? Static. Another is what? Dynamic. While you're talking about the static, what is static means what? The application checking is carried out without executing. I'm not executing anything. And the application is called what? What is a static? Means in the application, what are the application is given, you are not executing. Executing means you are not checking any, you are not giving input and you are not getting any output. That is not, that is called what? Static. So static means what? The application is checking is carried without executing. We are not executing anything. That is called in the static. What is a dynamic? Dynamic means with execution. We can easily say that dynamic means what? With execution. The application is checking is done by executing the application is called dynamic. See, let's see what are the static techniques. Why we call it as a static? Code review. Code review means what I told you, right? Once the developer is done his code, the senior person will review the code, right? That is code review is nothing but here we are not executing anything, just we are viewing the code. We are viewing the code. So the senior person is viewing the code, but he is not executing, right? That's the reason we call it as a what? Static. So the senior person is always review your code. In the testing also, the if you are a fresher means while you're writing the test cases, the senior person will review your test cases or your buddy. Your buddy means your colleague. Your colleague will be review all your test cases. So that is very very important. Reviewing means what whether you are following the correctly, whether you are writing correctly or not. That is what we will be review. The senior person will be review that all the things. That's the reason we call it as a what? Static. Inspection. What is called inspection? Inspection means what? Someone should inspect, right? Because whether we are following the correct documents or not, whether we are following the correctly, whether we are doing the code is correctly or not, whether we are following the respective documents or not. So someone should always inspection for you, because my lead or your lead will take care of all whether you are going to the proper documents or not. So if someone will not inspect you means inspection is not happen means lastly what you say that I follow this document, that the reason I got this output. So might be you are following the wrong document means all the time is wasted, right? So one person is always inspection, like most of the lead will be take care of all the things. He will be check all the things, whether you are following the correct documents or not, whether you are following the correct requiremements or not. All will take care of the in the inspection. That the reason in the inspection also we are not executing anything, but just we are viewing whether you are following the correct things or not. That's the reason we call it as a static. In 100% interview question, then when you ask you, can you define what are the testing techniques? They will ask you like this. Can you define the testing technique? The testing techniques are what? Two types. One is what? Static. Another is what? Dynamic. Static means what? You can say the code review, inspection, and walkthrough. Walkthrough is very very important. Walkthrough means what? Your concerns, your questions, like while you are working in the application, right? You will get a lot of questions. You will have a lot of you need to discuss. You want to ask you meeting. Yes, it is like meetings. Yes, like it's a complete meetings will be there. Like what are the your problems and concerns, each and everything we will discuss in walkthroughs. That is also is very very important. Static is nothing but what? If you understand, means static means without executing. We are not executing anything here. I'm not executing anything. Code review, I'm not executing. Inspection means I'm not executing. And walkthrough in the meetings, I'm not executing. That's the reason we call it as a what? The static. Understanding, right? The static means without executing is nothing but a static. So what are the static techniques? Might be they will ask you this question. What are the static techniques means? So you can say that code review, inspections, and walkthrough. Clear, guys? Clear, right? So, what is dynamic? Coming to the dynamic means with execution. With execution means what? Black box testing. You know, right? Who will do the black box testing? Who will do the black box testing? Black box testing is done by QA. Yes, good. White box testing. Who will do the white box testing? White box testing is done by the developers. And yes, developers. And gray box testing. What is the gray box testing mean? The combination of both black box and white box is nothing but a gray box testing. Understanding, right? This is very very important. Might be, see, in the black box testing we are executing, right? You are giving input and we are getting output. We always check this output is getting as per the requirement or not, as per the requirement or not. That is what black box testing. What is white box testing? Developer is always check the whether my code is written properly or not, whether my logic is working properly or not. So he always check his code is working properly. He is executing his code. And black box, we are executing, we are validating the code. And gray box, the combination of black box and white box is nothing but a gray box. So might be in interview they will ask you, can you explain what are the testing techniques? Means you can say that the testing techniques are static and dynamic. The static is nothing but you can say that code review and inspections, and you can say that walkthrough means what? The meetings, they conduct some meetings, you need to attend that meetings, and you need have any concerns or queries, you need to discuss in that meeting. And coming to the dynamic means I told you, right? With execution, the black box testing and white box testing and gray box testing. Clear, right? Shall I move? QA only do the dynamic testing, right? Yes, we will do the dynamic testing only. Yes. Uh, Say a review mean sometimes we will involve in the reviews also, not static, right? Not be like that. Sometimes in review means not only code review. I told you, right? The junior person will be, right. Suppose you are the senior person in your senior QA. So in your team there are three freshers will be there, and they start writing their test cases, right? So whether they are following, whether they are writing the test cases properly or not, how you can say that? The senior person means you are the senior person means you need to review their test cases, right? So sometimes we involve in the static also. There is nothing like only the developer, only the tester. Not be like that. If you are in the senior person, you sometimes you need to review the things in the test cases. Test cases you need to review, right? Suppose the junior's work. Suppose the junior is already done his task. Uh, you need to test. You need to also verify whether he is following the correct the things or not. So it should be. We cannot say like. Developers is only do a dynamic testing and we cannot say like that. We both is involved in static and dynamic also. Clear, right? Okay, thank you. Okay. So these are very very important. So sometimes suppose you are the senior person in your peer, so what you need to do, you need to review all your juniors, right? Once they are in perfect, then you can then you can leave them, because you already verify and they know how to write on the all the things. So that is also is very very important. So this is what testing techniques. That definitely they will ask you what is the testing techniques means. What there are two techniques. One is static, another is dynamic. You need to say that code review, inspections, and walkthrough. Walkthrough is very very important, because sometimes in the real time we have a lot of meetings will be there. In the meetings, see that the why we are conducting the meetings means we cannot ask directly all the questions in the whole in the single day, right? So in the entire the meeting you cannot ask, so that we will put a separate meeting. So what is your concerns and queries and what are your problems, and each and everything we will discuss in the that walkthrough meetings. Okay, if any new guys is joined, so what happened, we cannot explain each and everything, right? So we can say that we can put it to separate, hey, let's we join with the walkthrough sessions. So they will say like that, they will conduct the completely a walkthrough session, so we can have meetings, and you what is your questions and concerns we can discuss in the work. Dynamic means I told you, right, with execution, black box and white box and gray box. Is it clear, right? So that in the notes it is saying that, say it is an inspection means it is a software articrafts. Articrafts is nothing but a components. We can call it as a components as a articrafts. So such as, say, whether we are following the requirement specifications correctly or not, whether we are following the design following properly or not, whether we are following the code or not. That is all will comes in the static techniques. It is done by following methods means review, inspection, and walkthrough. Clear, right? So today's is very very important. So far what we learn means so far what we learn, what is testing, and after that what we learn, what is the testing types, what are the testing types. There are two types, right? One is what structural testing, another is what functional testing. Structural testing is also called is what white box testing. Functional testing is also called is what black box testing. After that, what we learn, SDLC. What is an SDLC? Software development life cycle. After that, what you learn, how project will comes to the organization, and what are the requirement documents like BRS and SRS and FRS. FRS is also there. I forgot to tell that. FRS is nothing but a functional requirement specification. That is also is very very important. Suppose there is a username will be there and password will be there. So here you will get like you will get some confused like how much characters I need to enter in username, how much characters I need to enter in the password. So that is very very important. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me, right? Yes, yes. Okay. So functional requirement document is also is very, very important. I show you right yesterday. Some documents will be there. So in the you need to check the functional requirement, the things like the username will be there and password will be there. See, if you're able to see my screen, you can easily see understand this one. So, so this is a project we will discuss, and once the project session will come, we will discuss all these things. See here, some fields will be there, like the branch name and location and the state and phone number. See, here it is mentioned that all fields are mandatory. Mandatory means what? Compulsory. 100% you need to attend all the things. So branch name, I don't know how many characters I need to enter. I don't know how many characters I need to enter. So you always check with that one. How many characters is entered means it is given the condition, right? 4 is what? Minimum and 15 is what? Maximum. And it is the condition is what? That condition is what? Alpha numerical value. You always check with the functional requirement document. That is very, very, very important. In the real time, you always check with the functional requirement document, because you cannot ask, right, how many characters I need to enter in this field. So you need to go with always functional requirement document. Once the project will come, we will explain each and everything. Don't worry about all the things. We will explain how we need to test the application, and what is the FRS document, what is the content, each and everything we will see, and we see the one live project also. So once you see that one, you will get a hands of experience. So this is very, very important, functional requirement. So one text box will be there. Alpha numerical. The condition is what? Alpha numerical. Means you need to check the condition. See, A, B, C, D. It is valid or invalid? It is invalid, right? Because I'm taking only alphabetics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is what? Invalid. You need to check the combination. Alpha numerical means what? The combination. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. That is what validate. The branch name, here it is clearly mentioned that the branch name accepts up to 4 to 15, but if the condition is what? Alpha numerical value. So you need to check this condition. You need not ask anyone how many characters I need to enter and what the fields I need to enter. You need to always refer with the functional requirement documents. They will be provided the functional requirement document. Otherwise, in the company, they will give you KT. What is called KT? Anyone knows that? What is called KT? KT is nothing but knowledge transfer. Whenever you got a job in any organization, right? They will not give immediately task with your name. They will give you what? KT means knowledge transfer. They will give. Otherwise, there will be provide some documents. Based on the documents, you need to refer the documents. You need to understand the documents, and slowly, slowly, there will be assigned on a task on your name, and you need to check with slowly, slowly, slowly. You need to get, once you get a confidence, and once you get you prove yourself, yes, I am doing good. Might be your team lead will get a good impress on you, then he will assign more task on you. Understanding, right? Without telling any functionality, no one will be assigned any task. And I told you, right, in the task they will give you a description and comments, and they will be provide each and everything. What is your job is, as a tester, you need to check the requirement, and you need to understanding the requirements, and you need to test. See, here the requirement is what? Branch name. The requirement is what? Condition is what? 4 to 15. Simply you need to test with the four letters you need to enter. That should be what? Alphanumerical. Check with the 16 letters you enter. The sound is not coming for everyone, guys. Can you hear me, right? Yes, yes. Please check your I think your audio once. Okay. Okay, this is very, very important. We need to check with the conditions. The condition is very, very important. The location, see here it is what? 3 to 15. Enter the two values. Two values is what? Invalid, right? If the two values is allowing in the system, means that is a bug. No need to ask anyone, because the condition is what? 3 to 15, right? Minimum is 3, but you're allowing the two letters, you're entering the two letters, and the system is allowing to the save, means it is a bug. No need to ask anyone. You can report it to the development team. Simply you can report it to the development team. This phone number is also the same thing. The length is what? 10 numbers. So if it is allowing the 9 numbers, means it is a bug. Simply you can report it to the development team. Clear, right? So this is also is very, very important. Functional requirement specification. Might be in the interview, might be they will ask you what are the requirement documents you are following. Means you can say that BRS is nothing but a business requirement specification, and SRS is means what? Software requirement specification, and finally FRS is nothing but a functional requirement specification. Clear, right? So far? Okay. Yes. Now see, what is the, yes, thank you. Let's see what is the testing fundamentals. This is very, very important. What is the testing fundamentals? Unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing. And other category, we can say that functional testing. And one more category is non-functionality testing. So these are very, very important. What is unit testing? What is integration testing? What is system testing? What is acceptance testing? And what is the functionality testing and what is non-functionality testing? These are very, very important. Coming to the unit testing, we already know that, right? Unit testing is done by the developers because he need to check whether his code is working properly or not. Before he's checking the code, he always check whether my code is working properly or not. Unit level testing. The testing of a single program or a module or a unit of a code is nothing but a unit testing. Means the developers is written the code, right? Here, what is is written a single code. That code you need to test, right? That we can call it as a what? Unit level testing. That the same thing is saying the testing of a single program or a module. Modules means you know, right? What is the modules? Say if you go with the Amazon. See, these are the modules. Your Amazon.in is what? Your module. Today deals is what? Your modules. Okay. And Amazon Pay, what is your modules? This is what all your modules. So if you are test with the single module means you can say that I'm done. Suppose I was implemented this one, like your Amazon dot is implemented by myself. So before checking that code, I need to check at least once whether it is working properly or not. That is nothing but a unit testing. That is nothing but a what? Unit testing. You need to check single program or testing of a single program or a module. Module means I told you right just now. A module or a unit of a code you need to test. That is nothing but a unit level testing. Okay, clear, right? Coming to the integration testing, this is also is very, very important. Integration testing means what? The name itself it is there. Integration testing. Integration testing is a process of combining the modules and the testing the data flow between the modules. This is very, very important. Say if you go with the Amazon, suppose I implemented it, your Amazon.in, and someone other person is implemented with what? Today deals. So the two modules is integrated properly or not. Means we need to check always the data flow between these two modules is working properly or not. We need to check the communication between the two modules. See, currently on which page, an Amazon homepage, and I'm clicking your Amazon.in, right? Again I'm going back, and again I'm clicking what? Today deals. Today deals is other module, right? But in that module I'm able to access this your Amazon.in, right? The communication between the two modules, you need to check these two are integrated properly or not. That is what he's saying, the definition. What he's saying, the integration testing is a process of combining the modules and the testing the data flow between the modules. Integration testing is verifies the combined unit functions together properly or not. Say this is what you take it as one unit. This is what take it as unit. So the unit functions combined properly or not. You need to check that one. Integration testing is what verifies that combined unit functions together properly or not. This can facilitate finding the problem occurrence and interface or communication between the, that is the communication between the individual what individual components. Suppose you let us assume like you take it as your Amazon is one component and today deals as a one component. You need to check the communication between the two individual components. Understanding, right? The integration testing is means what? You are one developer and the second person is the other developer. He done his code and you are also done his code. Now you are checking, and now you need to integrate the two modules, right? In the two modules, we need to check whether the data flow between the modules is getting properly or not, whether the communication is happening properly or not. we need to test with the integration testing. Okay, this is also referred as what? Assembly testing. We are telling that assemble all together we said that, right? That's the reason we call it as a word assembly testing. We can say that what? Assembly testing. It is divided into two types. Again, integration testing is divided into two types. One is what? Incremental integration testing. Another is what? Non-incremental integration testing. And coming to the incremental integration testing means what? Let's see. Incremental integration testing means incremental integration testing is a process of testing in which each unit is integrated one at a time into the system. Means incrementally means we are slowly incrementing our modules. So suppose let us assume you have Amazon, right? Initially what happened when this Amazon is developed, we will take only two modules. Slowly we are added all the modules, right? We cannot add all the modules at a time. So what they will do, initially they will give only two modules. See how they slow. Initially what happened, they will give you what? Only two modules only. One second. See, are you able to see my screen, right? So initially what happened, we have only two modules. What is there? What are there? Your Amazon and today deals. So only I have what? Two modules only. And incrementally integration testing is means second time what they will give one more module like Amazon Pay will give. Okay, we will get what? One more module here. Now again you need to test between what? Data flow between the two modules are getting properly or not. We need to check. Understand, guys? So, what is the integration testing is nothing but whenever we are adding a new module, whenever you are adding a new module, see here it is saying that incremental integration testing is a process of testing in 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 which each unit is integrated one at a time into the system. See, the data flow between the modules is tested. The data flow between modules is tested as soon as new module is integrated. Suppose here, if one more module is added, means you need to check what integration between the all these three modules is working properly. That is the definition is saying that the data flow between the modules is integrated as soon as the new module is integrated. So, so you need to check whenever you are coming added any new integration. Say incremental means one at a time. See, each unit integrated is what? One at a time. Incrementally, one module we are adding, and again we are checking the data flow between the modules. Okay, and this process consists of systematically and combining the unit test modules by one and combining the modules. This process is consists what systematically what we are doing combining the unit test modules and test the what we need to test what combine the modules. We need to test whether the all the combined modules is working properly or not. This is nothing but a incremental integration testing. Again, there are two types of testing in here. One is one call it as a top-down testing. Another is what bottom-up testing. What is called top-down testing, and what is the bottom-up testing means? Let's see. Top-down testing. Top-down testing is nothing but we can say that top-down testing means we can easily say that top-down testing is nothing but is a process of incrementally adding the modules from parent to child. This is what parent link will be there. We are adding the child links. We need to check the data flow between the modules. Say suppose you can take the any example like Amazon. If you say this, you can say that this is what Fire TV stick is a parent. This is all what child links. You need to check all the child links is working properly or not under the parent link. So you need to check here also. You need to check what data flow between the modules means the links is accessing properly or not. We need to check, and vice versa. Vice versa means child links to parent link. Child links to parent link. In bottom up testing means what? The bottom up testing is a process of incrementally adding the modules from the child to parent and the test the data flow between the modules. So this is what incrementally integration testing. Here what we are doing, we are adding the modules one by one by one. So that's the reason he said that one at a time. Okay. And coming to the non-incremental integration testing, the name itself it is there. Non-incremental. Non-incremental means what? We are see previously what happened. The developer is adding one module. Again, we are doing integration testing. Again, one more developer is adding one more module. Again, we are doing the integration testing. So whenever the developer is adding any modules, again we need to do a lot of integration testing, right? It will what time consuming. It was taking a lot of time to completing all the things. So what we can say is that we always go with a non-incremental testing. Non-incremental testing means we are telling to the developer we will wait for some time. So some days you can integrate it all at a time, so we can easily do test that application. So we can say that non-incremental integration testing means what? Here non-incremental integration testing is a process of testing by the product by integration every unit all at a time. See, we are telling to the developers we will wait, you can integrate all at a time and give it us, we will test that one. Because previously what happened, incrementally what happened, they are giving one module and one module one by one they will give. Here what will happen, here in non-incremental integration testing we are telling them to the developers give it all at a time, so we will test at a time. So in non-incremental integration testing, the product of integration every unit all at a time into the system. The testing again we need to test what? The testing the data flow between the modules. So this method, so what will happen? This method can be used to save the time and the integration process. Yes, it is always save the process. It is always save the time, because if one developer is giving one module means it will take lot of time. So if we ask all the modules are integrated and at that time and we can test means we can save the time. This is also called as what? Big Bang method. So understanding, right, what we learned so far, unit testing and integration testing. Unit testing is nothing but to verify the single program or a lines of a code is nothing but a unit testing. Coming to the integration testing is nothing but combining the two modules and verify the data flow between the two modules, and you need to check the communication between the two modules is getting or not, you need to check. And again there are two types, incremental integration testing, another is what? Non-incremental integration testing. Incrementally means you are adding one module by one at a time. So one module by one we are adding and we need to check the data flow between the modules. And coming to the non-incremental, all modules are added at a time and we need to check all the data flow between the modules is getting properly or not. Understanding, right? This all will comes on what? Testing fundamentals. This all will comes on where? Testing fundamentals. Clear, right? And very important, system testing. This is what very important. System testing means what? The system testing verifies whether the entire the application is working according to the software requirements or not. And sometimes we can also refer as a system testing is also referred as what? Product testing and what? End-to-end testing. We always sometimes we call it as what? If someone is say that can you please do the product testing means what? Entire the application we need to test. End-to-end testing. End-to-end testing means each and everything you need to test. Okay, system testing also referred as what? Product testing, or we can say that end-to-end testing, or we can say that E to E testing. Clear, right? So if anyone asks you to do the system testing means or product testing means or end-to-end testing means, we need to check entire the application. We need to check what? Entire the application. Like suppose here I told you, right, Amazon will be there. If someone is say that can you please do the system testing means, you need to check each and everything. You can check what? Each and everything. Understanding, right? Clear, right? So if you want to do a system testing means, we need to follow something some like we need to cover the things like compatibility testing, usability testing, and performance testing and security testing. If you want to do a system testing, means you want to test completely application, means you need to follow all these things. What is the compatibility, and what is the usability testing, and what is the performance testing, and what is the security testing. It is a big concept. Tomorrow we'll discuss all these things. What is the compatibility, and what is the browser compatibility, and what is exactly usability testing, and what is the performance testing, and what is the security testing. So if you done with all the things means, your system testing is completed. So if anyone asks you what we need to cover in the system testing means, you need to answer in the interview. You need to say that yes, while I'm doing the system testing, I covered all the things: compatibility, usability, and performance and security. I will give you a complete examples for this one. So in interview might be they will, if anyone asks you what type of system testing you done, like what you will cover in the system testing means, you need to tell like all these things. I will check the compatibility. Compatibility means what? You have any idea about compatibility? You need to check whether my application is working all the environments or not, like Windows 9, Windows 10, Windows 11. So you need to check all the things like and browser compatibility. Browser compatibility is also is very important. You need to check the browser complements. You need to check all the browsers, like my application is working. Say like suppose Amazon, we are opening in the Chrome, we are opening in the Firefox, and we are opening in what IE. So you need to check whether my application is working all the browsers or not. We need to check. And coming to the performance, okay, performance testing means what? We need to check the response time. Response time is also is very important. Don't worry, tomorrow we have a long session for this one, because if anyone asks you to test the system testing means, you cannot say that I only am finding the bugs. That is the wrong question. So wrong answer. I'm sorry. If anyone asks you do the system testing means, you need to tell all the things. I need to do compatibility, I need to do usability, I need to do a performance, and I need to do the security. Clear, right? So far, you have any queries? No, right? Clear, right? So slowly we can go. Not a problem. Once we done with, so far we learn what is testing, what is the testing types, and after that we learn what is SDLC. After that, what we learn, what are the requirement documents, BRS, SRS, and FRS. And today, what we learn, what is the testing techniques. There are two types of techniques: static and dynamic. And once it is done, then what we learn, what is the fundamentals of the testing. So hold the 4 days of journey, how much you learn, you think? Okay, how much you learn, you just realize that one. What is, don't blindly read all the things. The 4 days of class, you learn a lot of things, right? What is testing, what is the quality, and who will do the white box testing, and who will do the black box testing. Once it is done, we go for a what SDLC. What is an SDLC? Software development life cycle. What are the phases? Requirement capturing, analysis, designing, coding, testing, and implementation and support, and implementation and support and maintenance. After that, what you learn, how project will comes to the organization, what developer will do, what tester will do. So you can just realize after this class what I learned for last 4 days. You learn a lot of stuff. You know what developer will do. Developer, based on the models, developer is start writing the coding. After the coding, what you will do? Code review. Once the code review is done, what you will do? he will do a unit level testing. Once the unit level testing is done, integration testing is done, developer part is done. What about QA? Based on the test plan, he will write the test scenarios. Based on the test scenarios, he write the test cases. Once the test cases is done, he will run integration testing will come there, and he will do system testing. Once system testing is done, acceptance testing is done. Acceptance testing is done means and implementation and product and maintenance. After that, what you learn? Testing technique. There are two types, static and dynamic. And now what you learn in testing fundamentals, unit level testing and integration level testing. Tomorrow we'll see the system testing and acceptance testing. And once it is done, we will go for a fundamental, like functional testing and non-functional testing. Is it clear, right? So far you have any queries? No. Okay, good. Thank you. Tomorrow we'll see. Tomorrow we'll see. Okay, thank you. Understanding, right? So tomorrow we'll see the very in-depth what is the compatibility, how the real-time issues will come, what is the usability issues, and how we can. Tomorrow we'll see in-depth examples, each and everything. I will give each and everything as an example, so you will get a clear idea about all these things. I did not get yesterday's notes. You can contact with the office, right? I told you, right? You can ask them. They will be provided. Today, you can ask because sure, I will be follow up with that. Don't worry about that. I will be follow up. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And be prepared all the things and don't by heart. Just realize what is going on the 4 days class. So you will get a clear idea about all the things. Thank you.